quick like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. My name is Thomas. I'm 37 years old, and I work as a mechanical engineer for Patterson Manufacturing in Indianapolis, Indiana. I spend my days designing systems, solving problems, and paying attention to details that most people miss. Small tolerances matter in my work. A millimeter off can mean the difference between a machine that runs smoothly and one that breaks down. I'd always thought marriage worked the same way. Small details matter. Small changes add up. When my wife stopped wearing her wedding ring, I noticed immediately. Lauren and I have been married for 9 years. We met in college. I was in engineering. She was studying graphic design. We were the classic opposites attract story. I was methodical and structured. She was creative and spontaneous. We balanced each other. Or at least we used to. We got married when I was 28, bought a house in the Broad Ripple neighborhood 2 years later. A nice 3-bedroom with a yard. The kind of place meant for a growing family. We talked about kids, but Lauren wanted to establish her freelance design business first. Once I'm more stable, she'd say. Once I have consistent clients. 5 years later, her business was thriving. But the conversation about kids never happened. Every time I brought it up, she'd change the subject or say she wasn't ready yet. I stopped pushing. Figured she'd tell me when the time was right. But other things started changing too. About 8 months ago, Lauren joined a new networking group for creative professionals. She'd go to meetings twice a month, come home energized and talking about all the connections she was making. It's really helping my business, she'd say. I've gotten 3 new clients just from networking events. I was happy for her. Supported it completely. Then the networking events became weekly. Then twice weekly. Then she was going out 3 or 4 nights a week for business dinners and client meetings. You're never home anymore, I said one evening after she announced another dinner meeting. I'm building something, Thomas. This is what it takes. I built my career too. I didn't have to be gone every night to do it. Your career is different. You go to an office. I have to be out there, meeting people, staying visible. It made sense. Freelancers had a network. I got that. But something fell off. Then one morning about 3 months ago, I noticed her ring was missing. Lauren was making coffee in the kitchen. I came up behind her to kiss her good morning, and I saw her left hand. Bare. No wedding ring. No tin line where it should have been. Where's your ring? I asked. She glanced at her hand. Oh, it was bothering me. I took it off last night. Bothering you how? Just felt tight. I think my fingers are swollen from the heat. It was March. Not exactly hot. You should probably get it resized if it doesn't fit, I said. Yeah, I will. I'll take care of it. But days passed. Then weeks. The ring never reappeared. I'd see her getting ready to go out. Makeup perfect, hair styled, wearing outfits I'd never seen before. But no ring. You're still not wearing your ring, I'd point out. I keep forgetting to put it back on. It's in my jewelry box. Except when I checked her jewelry box one day while she was out, the ring wasn't there. I started paying closer attention after that. To everything. Lauren's schedule became more erratic. She'd leave for client meetings at odd hours. Come home late smelling like cologne I didn't wear. She'd take phone calls in other rooms, speaking in hushed tones. Her phone became an extension of her hand. She'd keep it face down on tables. Take it to the bathroom. Sleep with it under her pillow. Who are you texting? I'd ask when I'd see her smiling at her screen. Just a client. Discussing a project. But clients don't usually make you smile like that at 10 p.m. on a Saturday. Our physical relationship deteriorated. We'd always had a healthy sex life, but it dropped off dramatically. Once a week became once a month, then once every few months. I'm just stressed with work, she'd say when I tried to initiate. I'm exhausted, but she wasn't too exhausted to go out 4 nights a week. The emotional distance grew wider. Conversations became transactional. Did you pay the electric bill? What time will you be home? Can you pick up milk? We weren't partners anymore. We were roommates sharing expenses. And through it all, her left hand stayed bare. About 6 weeks ago, something shifted in Lauren. She started being more affectionate, more attentive. She'd ask about my day, actually listen to the answer. She'd cook dinner instead of picking up takeout. She'd suggest we watch a movie together. It felt like the old Lauren, the woman I'd married. I wanted to believe we were turning a corner. Then one night, we were lying in bed. She was scrolling through her phone, and I was reading. Thomas, she said softly. Yeah. Why did you stop saying I love you? I set down my book and looked at her. What? You used to tell me you loved me all the time. Every morning before work. Every night before bed. But you stopped. Why? I stared at her. Tried to remember the last time I'd said those words. She was right. I had stopped. I don't know, I said. I guess I stopped feeling like you wanted to hear it. Of course I want to hear it. I'm your wife. Something snapped inside me then. A question I've been holding back for months forced its way out. Why did you stop wearing your ring? Lauren's face went carefully blank. I told you. It doesn't fit right. That was 3 months ago. You said you'd get it resized. You never did. I've been busy. You've been busy not wearing your wedding ring for 3 months while going out 4 nights a week and coming home smelling like someone else's cologne. Her jaw tightened. What are you saying? I'm asking why my wife stopped wearing her wedding ring. And I'm asking why I should keep saying, I love you, to someone who won't even wear the symbol of our marriage. That's not fair, isn't it? You want me to keep telling you, I love you while you take off your ring every day before you leave the house. While you're out until midnight with people you won't tell me about. While you flinch when I try to touch you. I don't flinch. You do. You absolutely do. Every time I reach for you, you pull away. But you want me to keep saying I love you like nothing's changed. Lauren sat up. I think you're being paranoid. Then prove it. Put your ring back on right now. I don't have to prove anything to you. You do, actually. When your husband notices you stop wearing your wedding ring, you kind of have to explain why. Already explained. Where is it, Lauren? Where's your ring right now? She didn't answer. Is it in your jewelry box? Silence. Is it in your purse? Your car? Where? I don't know exactly. You don't know where your wedding ring is? The ring I put on your finger 9 years ago? You just lost track of it. Why are you interrogating me? Because my wife stopped wearing her wedding ring 3 months ago, and I'm trying to understand why. Lauren got out of bed. I'm not doing this right now. You're being irrational. She grabbed her phone and went downstairs. I heard the guest room door close. I lay there in our bed, alone, staring at the ceiling. My wife couldn't tell me where her wedding ring was, and I couldn't remember the last time I told her I loved her. The next morning, Lauren was gone before I woke up. She left a note on the kitchen counter. Had an early client meeting. Don't wait up tonight. Working late. I called in sick to work. Something I almost never did. Then I did something I'm not proud of. I went through Lauren's things. Her laptop was password protected, but I knew the password. She'd never changed it from the one we'd set up together years ago. I opened her email. Started scrolling through recent messages. Most of it was work-related. Client communications, project files, invoices, normal business stuff. Then I found an email folder labeled Personal, Archive. Inside were dozens of emails to someone named Marcus Cole. I opened the most recent one. Dated 2 days ago. Marcus, I can't keep doing this. Thomas is getting suspicious. He asked about my ring again. I don't know what to tell him anymore. I know we agreed to keep things quiet until I figured out my situation, but it's getting harder. He's noticing everything now. The late nights, the distance, all of it. I need to make a decision soon. Either I tell him the truth and file for divorce, or I end things with you and try to fix my marriage. I just don't know if my marriage is fixable anymore. We're so far apart. He doesn't even tell me he loves me anymore. Can we talk tonight? After I tell Thomas I'm working late? I sat there staring at the screen. Marcus Cole. My wife was having an affair with someone named Marcus Cole, and she was deciding whether to divorce me or end it with him. Like I was just an option she was considering. I scrolled through more emails. Found messages going back 7 months. They'd met at one of her networking events. He owned a marketing agency. They'd started working on a project together. Then working together became having drinks. Having drinks became having dinner. Having dinner became something more. The emails were affectionate, intimate, full of inside jokes and references to times they'd spent together. I miss you already, one email said. Can't wait to see you Thursday. Last night was incredible, another said. You make me feel alive in ways I haven't felt in years. 7 months. My wife had been seeing someone else for 7 months. And I'd been too busy working, too busy trusting her, too busy believing her excuses to see it. I kept reading. Found an email from 2 months ago. Marcus, I took off my ring today. Couldn't keep wearing it while being with you. It felt like a lie. Thomas hasn't noticed yet. He's so consumed with work, he barely looks at me anymore. Maybe that's for the best. Makes this easier. So that's why she'd stopped wearing it. Not because it didn't fit. Not because she forgot. Because she was with someone else and couldn't stand a reminder of her marriage. I forwarded all the emails to myself. Then I closed her laptop and sat in our kitchen, trying to process what I'd found. Part of me wanted to confront her immediately, to call her and demand answers. But another part of me, the engineer part that plans and analyzes, knew I needed to be strategic. I called my attorney. His name was Paul Davidson. I'd worked with him on some patent filings for equipment I'd designed. He also practiced family law. Paul, I need advice. I think my wife is having an affair. What makes you think that? I told him everything. The missing ring, the late nights, the emails I'd found. Did you forward those emails to yourself? He asked. Yes. Good. That's evidence. Indiana is a no-fault divorce state, so the affair won't affect property division directly, but it helps establish grounds and timeline. How do you want to proceed? I want to confront her, but I want to be prepared first. What do I need? Financial records, bank statements, credit card bills, investment accounts. Get everything organized. If she's been spending marital funds on this affair, we need documentation. I spent the rest of the day gathering documents. Bank statements showed charges I didn't recognize. Expensive restaurants I'd never been to. Hotels in Indianapolis charged to our joint credit card on nights Lauren said she was working late. One charge particularly stood out. A jewelry store. $2,800. Dated 6 weeks ago. I called the store. Hi. I'm trying to track down a purchase my wife made. Do you keep records? Of course. What's the name? Lauren Chun. Purchase made about 6 weeks ago for $2,800. There was typing. Yes, I have it here. Custom men's watch. Engraved. My stomach dropped. What was the engraving? It says, to Marcus, love always L. She bought her boyfriend a $2,800 watch with our money and had it engraved. Thank you, I managed to say, and hung up. I sat there looking at the credit card statement. At the charge for a watch she'd bought another man. A watch that cost nearly as much as her wedding ring had. That's when I made my decision. I wasn't going to say, I love you, anymore to someone who'd taken off her ring to be with someone else. I was going to say goodbye. Lauren came home at 11 p.m. that night. I was sitting in the living room, waiting. You're still up, she said, surprised. We need to talk. She set down her purse. Thomas, if this is about the ring again, it's about Marcus Cole. Her face went white. Ooh, don't. I found the emails. All of them. She sank onto the couch. How did you? Does it matter? I know about the affair. I know it's been going on for 7 months. I know you took off your ring because you couldn't stand wearing it while being with him. I know you bought him a $2,800 watch with our money and had it engraved. Lauren put her face in her hands. I was going to tell you, she whispered. When? After you decided whether you wanted to divorce me or just keep cheating. It's not like that. It's exactly like that. I read your email. You were trying to decide between me and him. Like I'm just an option. Thomas, please. Where's your ring, Lauren? She didn't answer. Where is it? I gave it to him, she said quietly. I felt like I'd been punched in the chest. You what? He wanted to have it redesigned. To meld it down and make something new. He said it would be symbolic. Starting fresh. You gave your wedding ring to your boyfriend so he could meld it down. She started crying. I didn't know what else to do. I couldn't wear it anymore. And I couldn't just hide it. So when he offered, get out. What? Get out of this house. Right now. Thomas, please. Let me explain. Explain what? That you've been sleeping with someone else for 7 months? That you stopped wearing your ring so you could pretend you weren't married? That you gave your wedding ring. The ring I worked overtime to afford. The ring I chose specifically because you said you loved it, to another man to destroy. I made a mistake. You made 100 mistakes. Every time you met him. Every time you lied to me. Every time you came home smelling like his cologne and told me you were working late. Every single one was a choice, Lauren. Not a mistake. A choice. Where am I supposed to go? Call Marcus. I'm sure he'll take you in. After all, you've been planning a future with him anyway. I don't want to leave. I don't care what you want anymore. You have 1 hour to pack essentials. Everything else we'll figure out through attorneys. She stared at me. You're divorcing me? You've been deciding whether to divorce me for months. I'm just making the decision for you. Lauren packed through tears. Threw clothes into suitcases, grabbed toiletries, kept trying to talk to me. I didn't respond. Just watched as she loaded her car. Before she left, she turned to me one last time. I'm sorry, she said. I really am. I never meant to hurt you. You gave my wedding ring to another man to melt down. You don't get to tell me you didn't mean to hurt me. She drove away at midnight. I stood in the driveway of our house, my house now, and watched her taillights disappear. Then I went inside and slept in our bed for the first time in weeks without wondering where my wife really was. The divorce process was surprisingly clean. Lauren didn't fight it. Paul filed on grounds of irretrievable breakdown. She hired an attorney, but her lawyer knew she was in a weak position. My client would like to negotiate a fair settlement, her attorney said in our first mediation. Fair, Paul responded. Your client had a 7-month affair, spent marital funds on her boyfriend, and gave her wedding ring to him to destroy. What's fair about any of that? We settled on a 65-35 split in my favor. I kept the house. We split the savings and retirement accounts with me, getting the larger share. No alimony for either side. Lauren signed the papers without argument. The divorce was finalized 4 months after I kicked her out. 9 years of marriage ended because she couldn't tell me where her wedding ring was. I heard through mutual friends what happened after. Lauren moved in with Marcus immediately. Thought they'd finally have their fresh start, their chance to be together openly. It lasted 6 weeks. Turns out Marcus liked the affair, the excitement, the secrecy, the ego boost of stealing another man's wife. He didn't like the reality of a girlfriend with divorce baggage and a guilty conscience. He broke up with her in late summer. Told her it had been fun, but he wasn't looking for anything serious. Lauren ended up renting an apartment in Fountain Square. Still doing her graphic design work. Still trying to rebuild her life. I heard she tried to reach out to me about 8 months after the divorce. Left a voicemail saying she was sorry, that she'd made terrible mistakes, that she hoped I could forgive her someday. I deleted it without responding. As for me, I kept the house. Repainted rooms, replaced furniture, made it mine instead of ours. Work stayed busy. I got promoted as senior engineer, took on more complex projects. I started dating again after about a year. Slowly, carefully, learned to trust again. Then I met Gabriella. She was a project manager at a client company. Professional, straightforward, refreshingly honest about everything. On our 3rd date, I told her about Lauren, about the affair, the ring, all of it. Gabriella listened without judgment. She gave away her wedding ring, she asked, to her boyfriend, so he could melt it down. I don't even have words for how disrespectful that is. Yeah. Do you still love her? No, I don't think I loved who she actually was. I loved who I thought she was. Gabriella nodded. What did you learn from it? That small details matter. When someone stops wearing their ring, stops saying they love you, stops being present, those aren't small things. Those are warnings. And you won't ignore those warnings again. Never. We've been together for almost 2 years now. Gabriella wears her ring every single day. Never takes it off. Makes a point of it. I'm proud to be with you, she says. Why would I hide that? I tell her I love her every morning, every night, whenever I feel it, because she's never given me a reason not to. I think about that night sometimes. When Lauren asked why I'd stopped saying, I love you, the truth was, I'd stopped because somewhere deep down, I knew she didn't want to hear it from me anymore. She wanted to hear it from someone else. And when I asked why she'd stopped wearing her ring, she couldn't give me an honest answer. Because the truth was too painful to admit. She'd given it away. Not lost it. Not had it resized. Given it away. To another man. To destroy. That was the moment I knew our marriage was over. Not when I found the emails. Not when I discovered the affair. When she couldn't tell me where her wedding ring was. Because a woman who loves her husband doesn't forget where her wedding ring is. She just doesn't. Lauren asked why I stopped saying, I love you. I asked why she stopped wearing her ring. She couldn't answer. And that silence told me everything I needed to know.